Hello, can you hear me? Can you? Man, that's the weirdest thing. My mic just wasn't working, and I'm not sure why that could possibly be. I feel like there may be some forces at play out there who don't want me to be able to say something. I don't know. It's just weird. You guys get that feeling? You get that feeling? I don't know. Let's just brush it off. Anyways, hello, and thank you for joining Securing the Bag with Seth Underwood. I am your host, Seth Underwood, in case you weren't sure. And boys and girls, do we as ever have a lot to speak about tonight, and very little time to do so because the technological singularity is coming, like a raging train, like a bull in a china shop ready to just suck up every living thing that we know. It's coming, and I really do hope that we are prepared for it as just, a political society in general. I hope we're making good decisions overall. But what's even closer than the tech singularity and the machine elves that wait for no one, of course? It is the July Democratic debates, which are now 29 days away. That's right, guys. Listen, we had our first round of debates, and obviously we're going to be talking a lot. I really do want to hope that my mic is working here. Yeah, it was a gag. I should probably... my mic has not worked enough that you guys are probably like, oh, he's done it again. No, yeah, it was a gag. We're going to be talking a lot about the Democratic debates, obviously. Much of the show, probably all the show is going to be talking about that. But listen, we've got more along the way. July is definitely a state of superposition. The title of tonight's episode is Quantum Yang Theory, and I've got a joke just to prime everything up with. Okay, this is just to break the ice. Okay, I'm gonna ruin this. All right. So Heisenberg and Schrodinger are traveling down. They're just raging down a highway, speeding, and a police officer pulls him over and he says, "Do you have any idea how fast you were going?" to the driver, who was Heisenberg. And Heisenberg says, No, but I know exactly where we are." And the police officer scowls at him and says, "You were going 108 miles per hour. And Heisenberg's face just contorts into confusion, and you see him, reaching towards the nearest map. Meanwhile, the officer looks at Schrodinger in the passenger seat and says, "You mind if I open up your trunk?" And Schrodinger looks at him and says, "Yes, absolutely. But there is a cat in there. Be careful." And the cop opens up the trunk and says, "This cat is dead." And Schrodinger angrily mumbles under his breath, "Well, yeah, he is now." But yeah, that's such a good joke. I love that joke. It's a great joke. But really, no, for real. Yang and the Yang Gang movement in general, we're in this real weird place. We are both great, and we're also not so great. And you see people taking the black pill. Twitter is filled with people taking the black pill. Yang Gang, I'm asking you right now, the 11 people in my chat, do not take a black pill, okay? Just don't do it. Don't take the blue pill, don't take the black pill, take the green pill. Remember, spend 10 minutes each day surrounding yourself in the color green and thinking of something you're grateful for, because Lord knows I needed this weekend. I took a little bit of a sabbatical, okay? As you know, I was looking after some animals for a friend and everything, and I just, the stream wasn't working with my laptop and everything, and I thought, this is probably for the better. I've been staying up way too late. I just need to go ahead and go along and, take a quick break. I just noticed off the side of my eyes here, someone's asking to explain the black pill. So when someone is referencing taking the black pill, this whittles back all the way back to the Matrix, where, what's his name? I'm struggling here. Morpheus extends both of his hands out to Neo and says, "You can take the blue pill to remain in the simulation, or you can take the red pill to awaken, fulfill your destiny." Joseph Campbell's the hero of 1,000 faces. This was his moment, his call to take the mantle of hero and burst through. So when you take the red pill, when you hear that someone's red pill, it means that they've broken through all the illusions of society. They've reached the zenith of their consciousness, and they are who they are meant to be. Now, the black pill, though, is more of an internet culture type amalgamation of that concept. When you take the black pill, you're generally just accepting defeat, right? I want to give a quick shout out to another pro-Yang channel called, let me see here. Problem Solver Politics. Please go give them a follow, subscribe to them right now. They've got some amazing content. I'm going to be talking about stuff that they've talked about all night. One of the things that they talked about was and I forget exactly how this frames into things, but apathy. They say the opposite of love is not hatred, it's apathy. It's when you don't care about anything. And that's essentially what being black-pilled is when you're so just shattered and disenfranchised. It's terrible. The green pill is something that I just made up, so I don't think it may have a different like Urban Dictionary message. I don't know, but green's amazing. Just surround yourself in green. So when you hear someone saying I've taken the black pill, it means that they've just become apathetic. Now, I think I remember what they were linking it back to now. It was the idea of the exhausted majority. So this is going to be so much of what we're talking about tonight. And this is where we are, right? The exhausted majority. I love this, and it makes complete sense that Yang is picking up all of these people who have been just so exhausted and beat down over the years, probably starting back around the time that Al Gore lost the presidency, especially people who are more environmentally conscientious. I mean, I'm not a huge Al Gore fan. I don't really know. I was 6. I don't know. I was around that age, like in the year 2000. I was just a kid, right? So I don't know about politics. Please don't stay in the chat. Come on, stay with me here. Right? But like generally politics in general started getting real wacky. It felt like Freaky Friday a little bit. There's a significant portion of people who just don't vote. They don't vote at all. Like I'm pretty sure the United States, out of all the democracies in the world, has the poorest engagement rate overall. And we have to find some way of rallying the people who have just given up. Man. We have to find a way of bringing them out. And I think that Yang is the opportunity there. Now, the discussion that we're going to be having tonight is how do we toe this line? Because it's not just the question of, wow, we're peeling off independents, conservatives, libertarians, progressives, and everyone. It's not just that question, right? We are playing a game. And the game made itself be known, if you will, on Thursday night. And it really did. And I'm not going to lie, okay? I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys here. I really bought into the echo chamber. I bought into the hype. And a lot of people did too. The people who are taking the black pill bought into the hype. And I can't blame them because I did the same thing. But please, don't become apathetic. It's going to damage you so much more in the long term. And I said it before, I really did. The people who are in the chat right now are the people who are going to transform society. The movement of Yang means nothing at all if it's not for the energy that the supporters are bringing to the table. We have to maintain some amount of positivity. Because, and that's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing, especially for this movement. Because if you think about it, the type of people who are really activated by the universal basic income, by Yang in general, are people who understand the ways in which their personal lives would be transformed. And so to have to deal with the hills and valleys, the positivity, the negativity that is just life is extra difficult because you don't want to be you don't want to be feeling like you've been played as a fool, obviously. I mean, I haven't been able to bring myself to look at the Majority Report or any of these people who I've been clapping back in such epic fashions for, because like it kind of feels like, oh man, the Yang gang, look at what happened and everything. It sucks ass. It sucks so badly. It really does. I can't put it in any other way. We can talk all we want about microphone issues and the obvious slant and bias that the mainstream media has against Yang and these Gargolian, Dark Age, demonic vampires, okay, that are sucking the life force out of everything. We can talk about this all we want. And we can get as conspiratorial as we want about this, but it's not going to change the fact that it really sucks to not, we were wanting a Yang pill, a Yang pill on a national level to drop on Thursday night, right? That's where all the hype and the momentum was coming from, and it didn't happen. And we're all just a little taken down by that. And there's no shame in that, okay? There's no shame in that. I love to harp on mental health, and I really do mean it. if you are a fan of Yang, you're gonna have to do some maintenance on your body, on your mind. And I'm so sorry. It's Papa Seth coming in here, dropping down some knowledge, okay? You're gonna need to improve your diet, all right? If you want to change the world, if you want to see this through to the end, you're gonna have to be on guard and be defensive to the type of attacks that are going to occur and the type of disappointments, and ultimately, this may be a longer process than 2 years, okay? You have to understand that. You have to accept that. But you have to be able to pull the punches and get back up on your feet, and don't take the black pill. I've seen too many people already taking the black pill. They're not too far gone. I know they're going to come right back. But this is just what I'm trying to say. Is, we are extra vulnerable as Yang supporters. It sucks. It's just the case. It's just the way things are. So do as much as you can, work out, eat better. I'm sorry, it sucks, but you're going to have to do it. You're just going to have to do it. So, you know what? I haven't welcomed anyone in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and just do that real quick, because you guys, like I said, are the movement that are going to bring us into the White House and change literally the world. John, Canada Vibes, thank you guys so much for being in the chat. You guys are the dynamic duo making things happen. Defang Duana, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but thank you. You're new. I appreciate you being in the chat. Again, we might have some new people with us tonight. I did extend in my previous video an invitation for anyone who is interested at all to ask questions. I said I've been a universal basic income advocate for a lot longer than Yang's been running, and I'm willing to accept that challenge. Really, I am happy for any questions that y'all might have. And yeah, you know what? Choosing not to wear a tie, I honestly don't know how I think about that. You guys obviously see me going out of my way to try and dress nice, and this is for you guys see the room that I'm in right now. Like, dressing up is kind of an important thing. He could have made a statement with a tie. I don't know. Okay, listen, they thought this through. Obviously, they thought this through. Alyssa, thank you so much. Alyssa, really quick, I want to address you personally. I don't know if my girlfriend's in the chat. I'm kind of worried, because I'm going to bring her up for just a second. I don't know if she's okay with that or not. So if you are, go ahead and send me a text, and I'll come back to this in just a second. I'm going to keep an eye on my phone. But Michael, the Quiet Gamer, AJ, Helen, thank you all so much for being here in the chat. I saw too Prometheus and Machiavelli. We have Machiavellian in the chat, which is, the ends justifies the mean. I don't know exactly how I feel about that right now, but after Thursday night, honestly, I can get on board with anything, I guess. I can get on anything. I was discouraged for like an hour, but after seeing Steve Danley and Scott Garibay videos, my faith was restored. It's a little strange. I do feel like right now more than ever, we need some, what do you call them, lighthouses, right? We need some lighthouses of pointing the way and saying, listen, yeah, it sucks ass. It really does suck. But this is what's important. This is where we go from here. A little bit of guidance. And really, okay, I didn't want to talk too much about this, but Yang is the most important person for this aspect. He has to stay, and it sucks, but this is what he accepted. This is what he shouldered when he agreed and decided to make those first steps to become president of the United States, was to take the torch and the associated burdens along with it. And I'm not going to lie, he was making some blue-pilled tweets after Thursday's debate night, because it sucked. We all felt it. Well, he had to harness the energy and push through with it in ways that he had not done before. And I sat there every single time that my phone went off with his tweets coming through. I was sitting here going, Yang, like I've heard Trump supporters say multiple times that they wish that an intern would like tackle Trump every time he has his phone in his hands, because Trump has no self-control whatsoever. And that's a little bit how I was feeling. He didn't go too off the board or anything, and he's back on his feet right now, but like you got this kind of 8th grade angsty emo vibe from some of the tweets that Yang was making after Thursday night. I can't blame him. And like he knows the type of burden that he's having on people I know that people are looking up to him. He knows that people have a lot riding on the idea of a universal basic income and Yang in general. And man, I really am putting myself into his shoes. You know, I've brought up before my own invisible disabilities and whatnot. And I really don't want to harp on it or anything and make that like a shtick. But, you know, if you see on the side of my head these patches and everything, I pull my hair out for anxiety. It's not just anxiety, though. It's worry and empathy. And this is why I love meditation. It's the only thing that can really help with these types of disabilities, you know, or mental illnesses. Sure, you can say it like that. Is that you can sometimes over empathize with people. You can sometimes over worry yourself with things that you really like the normal person, quote unquote, wouldn't spend as much mental bandwidth on. Or and the worst thing is that like psychopaths have absolutely no bandwidth. Like it doesn't enter into their heads these types of empathies, these types of worries, these types of concerns. And that's why they're at the top of the freaking socioeconomic ladder, right? Like this is the thing. Psychopaths, the people who cannot empathize, who have no emotional centers in their brain, right? Every step, this is statistics. Every step you go up on a corporate ladder, you are 25% more likely to come face to face with a psychopath. That's just, you know, I've said it before. Our entire society is built from the ground up to reward the absolute wrong, the absolute terrible types of things to be rewarded. Psychopaths thrive in this country, man. They thrive on this country because the more you can step on someone's throat and crawl your way a little bit higher, the more you're going to be rewarded. But anyways, what was I saying? I'm going off on some tangents here. Right. This empathy, this worry. I've really put myself into the shoes of Andrew Yang lately, and I feel so bad for him. And not kind of, yeah, like he's accepted this Herculean type of responsibility and task, and ultimately he's going to be okay. I mean, this is going to, you know, he's selling a lot of books. He's selling, you know, if he didn't have a care for anyone else, but you know that he does, right? That's the issue. You know that he is a compassionate human being. You know that he's coming through on this campaign from a purely like he sees the problems, he wants to fix them. And if you read his book, hey, oh my God, I almost forgot. Listen, guys. Okay, I'll do that in just a second. There's my ADD coming through. What am I saying? Right? I really hope that he has access to very supportive types of social circles, and I know he probably does. Like this is me worrying. Like I said. Anyways, it's not even important. What am I even trying to do here? Let's just go ahead and get this out of the way real quick. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do it in this chat. Okay, after this episode, if you happen to stay with me. Or maybe not in this episode. I might look for some comments in the chat to help me figure out how to do this. We passed by 200 subscribers on the video that I made right after the debates, which this is also going to be something I'm talking about. Really picked up a lot more. I know some of it was because Yang is suddenly in the news. People are searching for Yang. People are saying, let Yang speak and everything. But I am more of the perception now that these post-edited videos, and maybe not the live streams, are going to be the more effective way of garnering an audience for the Dividend Report. So I'm thinking that I might be having some days off the week. We might not be doing this Monday through Friday anymore. I might try and carve out some extra time to actually do some more post-edited videos of that nature, because that really took off. I got like 150. I blew past 200. I'm so thankful for the new people who have joined in. I know I haven't been keeping too much track with the comments. I'm going to go and scroll back and see if I've missed anyone. But thank you so much for subscribing and for supporting this channel. A special thanks to the now 11 patrons that I have. Again, I've said it once before. I want to keep advertisements as far away. If you hear some scratching, it's my cat. She really wants in here. She's missed me because I haven't been here all weekend. So I'm sorry. But I've said it before. I want to keep advertisements as far away from this channel as possible because they are Gargolian Dark Age type tactics and people and organizations which are designed to brainwash the population. Obviously, listen, you guys are smart. You are smart individuals, and I don't want to have to tell you to buy underwear or that dentists care about what type of toothpaste you use. It's all toothpaste. It's all toothpaste, man. Okay? You're smarter. You're smarter than that. And I don't want myself to be beholden to any types of third-party censorship by the means of monetization, especially since there's so much talk about how the YouTube is demonetizing people. And it's not censorship because you still have your account and you still have everything. But no, it is censorship because if you don't have money to pay your bills, you're going to be out on the street, and good luck making YouTube videos then. Right? Good luck talking about the ways in which the Syrian war is actually set up by the man, you know, and the deep military industrial complex, which there are very interesting, issues on that front where people are being taken down in this entire mess, right? Where you're obviously bringing up these actual issues of like maybe real Nazis inciting real violence with their speech, but what you're not seeing are the people who are coming through and saying no, these are super serious issues, and I'm the only one who's able to like get through and tell you what's actually happening. They get silenced as well, and that's what we call collateral damage. And whoopsie, that's a shame, says the corporate oligarchs and the military industrial complex. Anyways, what am I saying? Thank you. This is a thank you, and it's the worst thank you. That's okay. I think we're okay. Did I just lose my mic or anything? Am I still here? I'm getting so animated right now. Thank you to my patrons. I'm now up to 11. You have really changed my life. I mean, I can't go far enough in my gratitude for what it means to me that you're willing to support me in that way. My vision for a universal basic income is that everyone could have the ability to do what I'm doing, to have a basic level of security, that you can pay your rent, you can eat food, you can live the basic lifestyle, right? And $1,000 isn't going to go very well for many people. I can do it, though. I'm currently living off of $550, so I'm getting closer. And oh my God, the video that I'm going to drop the day that I get $550 in Patreon, you won't even believe it, okay? But that's the type of a society that I envision we might be able to get to, where at the very least you're able to do something that matters to you, right? That you're passionate about, and like, I wish that we were already in a world where it wasn't necessary that I had to be like, hey, patrons, like I really could use your help. But I wish we were in a world where it was like, it's a given that at the very least you can survive, and then anything after that is supplemental, right? That it's a society of disposable income, right? Capitalism's gotten to the place where goods are pretty abundant, right? Especially, everything other than luxury goods, which we're already kind of at, right? You can take care of yourself as much as you need, and then you've got disposable income. So hey, come and help me move my couch. I'll toss you $5 because I've got the UBI, man. I'm taken care of, and that might sound like a crazy idea, but it's where I see us kind of going. It's where I see capitalism evolving into, and we might be able to go back into a system of kind of like pseudo bartering, right? Like, hey, my neighbor's a woodworker and I don't want to buy something from IKEA because it's a cookie cutter factory line product and it looks the same as Susan down the street and everything. I don't care about that. I want something that's been made by a human being that has their creative capacity woven into the fabric of its being, that this was something that was just created through the electrical synapses of the brain and literally woven into reality through a type of magic that can only be ascribed to the human creativity condition. Isn't that like a crazy freaking idea? I see that as our future. I see Yang as the person who's leading us to that type of future. Listen, you don't have to be an economic genius, right? You don't have to be Paul Krugman to understand that capitalism will eat itself. Like to understand the ways in which, hey, well, if innovation is going to continually bring cheaper and cheaper products through the process of exponential automation and competition, which continually will reduce the costs of doing businesses, then yeah, wow, eventually we're going to have electronics that are the size of blood cells that are costing pennies, and you can't. It's weird. You have to be able to evolve the system past where it is right now, or else things are going to get really freaky very quickly. Because again, this is exponential. 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16 to 32, and like within 7 more times, you're past 1 million, man. We are not evolved to think in those terms. We have evolved to see a panther in the woods and go, holy shit, there's a panther. It's going right. Let's go left. Let's get out of the woods and go back to our tribe and hang out and have a good time. Okay? Like, this is the problem. And we saw this on the debate stage on Thursday, and it led to a little bit of cognitive dissonance, because here on the Securing the Bag live stream, we've talked about the ways in which, hey, this is kind of important. We're throwing the flag on the play here, trying to draw some attention to some things that are just not talked about. And Andrew Yang has said himself, listen, I've gone to DC, and I've spoken to these politicians, and I've said, hey, do you see what's going on in Silicon Valley? Yeah, we don't like to talk about that. There's no easy answer. There's no easy answer, because the answer is what Tim Ryan said on Wednesday night. We got to make new jobs. We got to get people employed, man, because that's the problem. Because we've got a $22 trillion GDP per year. We're doing better than we've ever done in the history of ever. But some people, they're not doing so good. So we got to find something for them to do. We got to get them more in jobs, because that's what we've done for years and years and years. More jobs. Get them jobs. Jobs. What is the one person, the only person who is saying anything other than get them jobs? It's Andrew Yang. And whoa, hold on. This person had his microphone cut off, silenced completely. Huh. I wonder what that is. You can tell I took this weekend a little hard, for sure. I mean, it's, but okay, breathe it in. 10 minutes a day surrounded by green. What am I saying? I'm going to take just a quick moment. I'm going to look through these comments and everything, making sure that I haven't missed anyone. Calmly contemplate our brave new world of newly legislated freedom dividend as we smoke our newly legalized cannabis. Quick note on that. I think I remember the Basic Income podcast just having a recent episode about Massachusetts. I think it's Massachusetts legalizing, and they're in the process of legislating what it looks like. Legalized cannabis, and they're saying we're going to do a universal basic income based solely on the profit of cannabis, which is an incredible idea to think about. Like, you're literally taking this plant that's just growing out of the earth and using the revenues from it to eliminate poverty. It is the most hippie, like, I'm telling you, Bob Dylan, I mean, Woodstock era, the 60s, if they had an inkling of the type of momentum and movement that is happening right now, they would just fall over. They'd have a heart attack. This is the onset of a second cultural revolution. And I think that might be a little scary to some people to realize, but yeah, it really is. It really is. We saw what happened the first time around. So buckle in, man. We're in for a ride. Did you see the video where MSNBC was talking about how they already know who's president and who's not going to say anything? So that was that was on Bill Maher. I don't know. I just saw the headline of it. I didn't actually get to see it. But was that before or after Yang appeared on Bill Maher? That was it was really disgusting and gross. And I want to try and stay away from getting too conspiratorial on this show and everything, but those are the types of things that really send you off into a bad trip. And don't take too many green pills and surround yourself with that type of information. Listen, guys, you have in front of you, especially with the technology in our pockets, a existential buffet that you can take and choose from. You can take some negative news, you can take some positive news. Oh, here's some hors d'oeuvres. What is Trump having in? What is Trump doing today? Right? Oh, I'm gonna take this, and what you feed yourself has to do with your overall health, but the same goes for what you put into your mind. And I want to stress this. I want to stress it very well. You need to have a healthy diet every single day of mental caloric intake. Don't sit and wallow in the Gargolian dark age, the gross buffet, I'm talking the flan. I don't like flan. You don't take the flan, okay? It's demonic. It's going to suck your soul out. The MSNBC shill on Bill Maher looked particularly angry when Maher brought up Yang. All right, let's talk Maher real quick. He obviously seems secretly Yang gang, but apparently he took a pretty massive whatever you want to call it on Yang recently after the debates, and he said, I don't think that this is Yang's line of work. Again, I couldn't bring myself to watch this, to hear it being spoken about. I took a sabbatical, okay? I just kind of barely paid attention to what was happening over the weekend because I needed that. I talk about how much I do suffer from anxiety and everything like that. This has not been a good weekend for me, okay? But I'm dealing with it in my own ways. But I saw that, and it was like, did he know when he said that about the microphone issues, or did that come later? I want to know that, first of all, and second, from what I heard him say, he wasn't like dunking on him. He was saying, I just don't think this is his line of work. He's too smart for politics. I think he said that, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this is the problem, right? Because during the debates, Yang got to speak twice, 2 minutes overall. And people are saying, okay, this is just going to tie in to so much more of the show. And I don't want to get started on. Okay, we're doing it. We're going to do it live. Screw it. Okay. So people will come back and say, after the video that I made about Yang kind of being, muted by technological issues, and they're saying, well, if he should have brought it up. I can't trust someone who's just gonna sit around and get pushed around by forces that are gargantuan in nature and weirdly Kafkaesque and literally, the military-industrial complex. If we're ascribing this issue to it, right? I can't trust someone who's not gonna fight back against that. Well, okay, there's a few things that I have to say about this. One is we don't know exactly how soon he realized the microphone issue was happening, right? It could have been he started noticing it after the first break, and there were maybe 3 breaks or so. Two, like, there is so much going through your mind on that stage in that moment that, yeah, we can sit here from our armchairs, our cozy armchairs, our fingers encrusted in red, powdery Cheeto flakes, wiping our shirts off and going, oh, well, if I was up there, I would have done this, right? It's easy. It's easy for us to do that, okay? But remember, listen, okay, he's up there on stage, surrounded by career politicians who have done this for years and years and years. And I know, it's kind of a poor argument to say, well, he's new at this. But guess what? It works for our commander-in-chief right now. I think we can say it again. But no, I'm going to keep going. I'm not just going to stop there, okay? I'm not going to stop there. So, two, first impressions are everything. You don't want to come off as a whiny bitch, because I guarantee you the same people who are sitting there going, oh, well, he should have done this, would have called him a whiny bitch if he immediately started waving his hands and going, I'm silenced, I can't say anything, what's going on? And I know you're probably saying, oh, you just go to the sound technicians and whatnot. But listen, okay, I don't see any way that he could have handled this situation that would have worked. I mean, yeah, we can come up with as many scenarios as we'd like, but at the end of the day, it would take an amount of tact, an amount of familiarity with that type of shenanigans to push through, break through that nonsense. And ultimately, this wasn't the purpose of what Yang was up there on stage to do. And I'm going to be playing a video during tonight's live stream to further talk about exactly why this has been a cumulative, just dumpster fire of bad, of bad intentions on the MSNBC's part, of significant issues, of disadvantages that Yang has just coming into this. And 3, listen, the last thing is that Yang he just was not there to engage in the type of bickering and nonsensical, political, like soundbite, like clapbacks, the Kamala Harris to I was that little girl and everything. He wasn't there to do that, all right? He was there to introduce himself to the people of the United States. He was there, and this is what I said during my first live stream, he was there to give his 45-second intro. Guess what happened to that intro, right? We've talked about this. He was there to field any of the questions that were going to be asked to him, right? So not only did he miss that first 45-second intro, but the very first question he was asked completely glossed over the universal basic income, went straight to the value-added tax, right? That was he had to start by fielding a question. I just want to point out how freaking ridiculous that is, and it really grinds my gear, man. It chafes my ass, but we're gonna calm down for just a second, okay? I'm not Bill Riley. I don't just, get angry and everything. Okay, so he had to field that question, and he had to answer a few things. He had to throw in maybe 1 or 2 things about the UBI if he could, or about his overall policy platform, and then he had to end well on the closing statement. That's what he was there to do. He wasn't there to jump in and say, hey, you guys are crazy. I've got the right answer. Vote for me. I'm Andrew Yang. No, like what do you think is going to happen? I mean, the people who keep on saying like he had to be more assertive. This is the issue, though, right? This is the issue because it's a superposition. This is the quantum Yang theory that I've been talking about so much. Is that he did have to push through and say he did have to leave some kind of impression, but that was stripped away by the MSNBC shenanigans. That was, let's make no doubt. But at the same time, too, assuming, right, I'm thinking specifically about his position on the carbon dividend. That's where I was sitting there yelling at my screen going, this is Yang's part. This is Yang part. And I saw Buttigieg come in and steal it from right under him. I saw that happen, and I thought this is where he needs to speak and everything. And I got upset. I got frustrated. And then afterwards, I saw everything. Yeah, he had to do that. He was prepared to do that, though, okay? He was. But still, and I've said this in previous live streams too, his overall demeanor, his overall projection, he isn't quite equipped for this nonsensical charade, which is what it is, okay? Like I said, listen, these people can show how smart-assed and interjectable they are and how many clapbacks they can throw down on the national debate stage. But when does a president ever actually use that, okay? Other than the times that Trump has just been fighting the media, when has his type of overall persona really been something that has been like an effective use of the executive office, right? This isn't what it means to be president. How well you can just, swing things around on the debate stage. It's so frustrating to me, right? And like everyone who's supporting Yang has seen him on the Joe Rogan podcast. They've seen these long form interviews. They've seen this new wave of getting thoughts across, of picking the brain, of getting an analytical thought process into what it means to try and fix problems, man. And that's what is so frustrating about this entire thing. This isn't something about fixing problems. This is just appealing to sound bites and appealing to the lowest common denominator and getting your face up there in the camera. And it's so demoralizing overall. But again, hey, listen, guys, I'm not taking the blue pill. We're here to keep the energy going. So, God, where have I taken this to? I'm really hitting into a roadblock mentally right now. So what I'm going to do in this moment is take a look at the comments and see what you guys have to say. Turbo says, it's frustrating that this thing is even called a debate to begin with. It's clearly not. It's all about ratings. Oh yeah. Remember, I just got done with my spiel about the Gargolian nature of the dark elves and the demons that are sucking people's souls through marketing, right? How many eyes can we get? How can we attract the most people? They're sitting there just twiddling their thumbs. It's disgusting. Okay? It's so gross. This is why we need Joe Rogan to just sit with all the candidates and say, listen, we're going to get to the bottom of this, but first you're taking 3 shots of Jack, and I've got this huge blunt that we're going to pass around. This is how we get to the bottom of everything, okay? That's where we go from here, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe give me a shot. I guarantee you I could do a better job at it than we saw on Wednesday and Thursday. Yang Gang's still growing. Yang Gang is still growing. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up some of these comments. I feel really bad because I can't keep, I'm happy. There's a whole bunch of comments happening right now, but without Super Chat, it's impossible for me to go through and keep up with everything. Again, this is why I would love 1,000 subscribers. If you're new right now, you haven't subscribed just yet, please hit the subscribe button, share this with anyone else you might be interested in. If you guys have seen a question from someone who is new, for real, be as welcoming as possible and maybe copy and paste it so that I might be able to see it. I'm going to go through and read off some of the comments that were left on my my video about my initial thoughts after the debates, because there were some very, very interesting things being said. Again, I'm saying it right here. It's the people in the chat. It's the Yang Gang in general who are going to push further this entire campaign. So Joey Klein commented. He said, no matter what NBC did, people saw Andrew Yang. That is enough. We all know the NBC is trying to destroy Mr. Yang. And this is a very good point, right? As I was taking the blue pill, as I was getting a little down on myself, the reaction and the feedback on social media, which, yeah, I know, echo chambers and all, but aside from that, was massive. There are so many new eyes on Yang, and I understand. I think we met our fundraising goal. He's at 2.5 million, and yeah, it was 3.5 to begin with, but they quickly kind of readdressed that, I think, leading up to it. So we met that goal. We are well on our way for qualifying for the fall debates. That has to be our main priority now. If we haven't qualified by the time of the July debates, which, help me out, I actually don't know where we are right now. I'm not entirely sure. Help me out in the chat if you will. But if we don't qualify by the July debates, I'm going to be a bit concerned because, again, we can expect we can expect the exact same thing to happen. Hopefully not worse. We have to get to the fall debates. Other people will drop out, and then at that point we can triage. Honestly, though, I think we're okay. I really do think we're okay. We have to keep that momentum going. Sid Koo said, the path forward must not be to rely on the debates for Yang to gain support. We must all be spreading the word about Yang because he won't be getting a fair shake with MSN. This campaign will really be won using the grassroots. Yang will win without MSM. Okay, I am so sorry. I'm going to get back to that comment real quick, but I've just noticed we're kind of at peak viewers right now. This is the video. Maybe I'll do a external video. I'll take a clip of what I'm saying right now to say we're past 200 subscribers. I'm doing a giveaway of the War on Normal People. I'm doing 2 specifically. If you are brand new, leave a comment saying, hey, I'm new. The only caveat here is that you cannot have already have had a an Audible account. I'm doing this through Audible, so you're going to be able to listen to it while you're driving, while you're at work, whatever it is. But I think you cannot have already had an Audible account. It has to be a new account. And bear with me here. I have never done this before, and you guys know how much actual issues that I run into technologically wise. So leave a response if you're new and you're interested in Yang at all, and then also just leave a response if you want a copy, if you want to share it with someone else. And I'm going to do my best to get that through and done. Again, it'll be on this video. If you leave a comment on this video, I'll take a look on it afterwards, after the stream's done. But I'll probably also do a clip and then make that its own video, and then any comments on that I'll also feed through. I am going for the most terrible sob story, how bad was your childhood? Please give me as much information as I'm sorry, I'm kidding. Please, no, I'm really kidding. This is going to be completely random. That was a terrible joke to make. I didn't mean it whatsoever. Please, I deal with enough anxiety in my life. I don't want to hear. I mean, no, I do want to hear. This is a safe space. Believe me, it is. But you know what I'm trying to say. All right, let's get back to this comment here. Really quick though, I see something interesting. I see numbers, and I'm drawn to numbers. Cash, 130,000 threshold has been met. One of the polls of 2% has been achieved. How many polls are needed? 2 or 3? I think it's 4. Just like the first time. So we're just working on polling right now, which means it's very possible we're not going to get there until after the debate. After July debate. And man, there's a lot riding on things. 0 out of 4 polls. John, don't say that. You're going to get me really down. I could have sworn that he already had one. That's going to be an issue if you're right. We got 5% in Maine. Yeah, and like there are polls that we can do, but it has to be like specific ones that are recognized by NBC. I saw 1 has been achieved. I'm finding the link. 2% in Florida. Morning consult poll is not counted. Guys, no. Oh, no. We're okay. No blue pills. Because it's clear that we cannot rely on the July debates to push us where we need to be. But then again, listen. We are in an echo chamber. It's important to realize that. It is very important. Breathe. I know, we are in an echo chamber. It's very possible that there are polls being conducted right now, and we are we're doing it. So, again, we're in that quantum state right now. We don't know exactly what it is. Oh, they call landlines. Damn it. Who has a landline anymore? Who? No. Who has landlines? I hate this. This is a clown world. Honk, honk. Listen, guys, all right, this comment that I was talking about, the path forward must be to not rely on the debates for Yang to gain support. We must all be spreading the word about Yang because he won't be getting a fair shake with MSM. This campaign will really be one using grassroots. Yang will win without MSM. This is what I've been saying. It's the people in the chat right now. You have to keep the energy going. The most important thing to do right now is to not take the black pill. Do not become apathetic. Just don't. It doesn't work at all if you do. If you become apathetic, we lose. Every single individual. This is the crux of the campaign. Richard Wong wrote, "The problem with this wasn't a debate at all. This was a ridiculous game show where the other candidates were spouting their feelings and life stories. Yang 2020, let Yang speak." I completely agree. Like I said, the debates it was a poor format. Now, I'm not putting the person's name who wrote this because I'm just not sure. They were kind of giving something personal about themselves, but they asked a question. They said, "Hi, Seth, just discovered you. I'd appreciate your perspective on UBI for the poorest of the poor, vulnerable and disabled on SSI. They are being left out of the advantage and improved quality of life that everyone else will receive, including people making $120,000 a year. I love Yang, love UBI, but not this part. Any insights on his reasoning? I've been suffering from autoimmune disorders for more than 25 years. I'm in the lengthy process of applying for SSI. we'll try to tune in for 4 p.m. Pacific time. So the first thing that I want to say is just like, thank you so much for giving your own insight into this. It's so difficult that this is a conversation having about people and their voice isn't the one that's being heard right now. But so much of the time, what I hear are people who say, listen, I would take the UBI in a heartbeat. And what I responded to in this was specifically the numbers that I've looked at personally, but I am interested if anyone has some more information that I could possibly be missing, which is that the average SSI disability that she's speaking about here is $773 a month, which is significantly less than the $1,000 universal basic income. And the SSI is, unlike the SSDI, which has been confirmed to stack on top with the universal basic income, is something that has clawbacks associated with any supplemental income gained. So the more you work, the more you lose on SSI. And she said it herself here, it's a long and lengthy process for her to get these benefits, which with a universal basic income, it would be instant. It should be 227. I'm terrible with math, excuse me. $227 better off just with that. And it's going to be tacked to inflation. So every year you're going to be guaranteed to get that amount as it exists right now tacked on to the price of inflation. So that would be my response to that. Overall, the type of number that I see Yang associate that $600 billion amount to of current means tested welfare, all of the programs that I've looked at on average are just worse than universal basic income of $1,000 a month. They aren't tacked to inflation. And two, like, I feel like no one talks about the idea that, this has effects far beyond just getting $1,000. Everyone you know and love above the age of 18 is also getting $1,000. If for any reason, let's say you're on SSI and you're getting that 773, but let's say you're also on food stamps and you're also receiving housing benefits, then yeah, it would probably make a lot more sense, especially if you just don't have the capacity to move to somewhere where you don't need the housing vouchers. It would make more sense to stay on those benefits, but you can absolutely do so. This is why it irks me so much that people say, oh, this is just designed to dismantle the safety net. No, you can stay on them. Hell, if you got off of them, you can also go back and get on them again. Under Yang, that will be the case. Like, I don't know if they go through and elect some right-leaning person after that. There may be more of a point to say that, but this is the point. We have to do what we can to protect these systems, just like we protect Social Security. This has been something that we deal with constantly. But this is the thing, is people love universal basic income. We love Social Security. They have not done a great job in attacking that, and that's just something that your grandparents get because you love your grandmommy and you want to make sure she's taken care of. And when the government tries to put their hands on her benefits, you say, hell no, screw you. But it's like that, but amplified with universal basic income. Everyone has pride in it. It's no longer about parasites taking your money or this or that. So that's the thing, is even if you choose to stay on those benefits, chances are you're going to be surrounded by people who are now much better off. And it's now, cascading effects and rippling effects of being better through and through. Yang's got to amp the message to boomers that the FD is stacked. Yes, this is huge. This is huge. The boomers just don't know Yang. They don't know Yang, and you got to let them know, hey, Social Security's nice, isn't it? You're having a good time? Yeah? How would you like $1,000 more? Because, baby, it's coming to you. It's coming to you. James Cash also said on this video, thanks to MSNBC, I am a new gang member, and I am quite sure I am not the only one. All right, this is what we're going to be talking about today. This is a big thing that I had lined up, is the discussion about the Andy Ngo situation. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Forgive me if I am wrong. We do have a lot of new Yang members. The crux of this conversation is going to be is, and I'm so sorry to put it in these words, but doesn't matter. Because we are playing a game. We're playing the game of becoming nominated to the DNC. And I'm not saying, James, anything about you specifically, but I am saying that we have to win over Democrats. And the things that he says, yeah, they have bipartisan appeal, but how far will we be able to get, right? I mean, Yang was kind of, I'm so sorry, Bernie was kind of, he didn't get far because he didn't get the black vote. And so there are, well, like, okay, so this is the thing though. How much of it is like Republicans are just never going to vote for Democrats ever. So Bernie had, especially since Bernie had that moniker of socialist attached to his name. Well, this was the thing, right? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter about that other side because they're not voting in these primaries. They're not. And Yang could get this exhausted majority if he wanted to, and it seems like he is, but it's not going to get him the Democratic nomination. And what hope do you have on an independent ticket? You know, there were so many people saying to Bernie, "Hey, we have to do this independently." And when he came out and he endorsed Hillary, it was the most heartbreaking moment of the 2010s. It crushed every single young person in the world. It added to the exhausted majority that I'm talking about right now. But we are facing a system. We've seen one side of it on Thursday night, and I have been having conversations with people today and yesterday about, listen, I mean, what was the quote in Game of Thrones? They were like, if you think this has a happy ending, you're not paying attention. And ultimately, yes, like I said, it's easy to buy into the echo chamber and not realize how astronomical the odds are of us facing this system and getting through to the end. I believe in it. I believe in it 100%, and I don't have a choice but to believe in it. That's the difference, okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how crazy the odds might be. We have to hold on to it and push forward with it. It's not even worth our while to think about and the ways in which this may or may not work. But, you know, I love seeing the type of eyes that were brought on Yang over this entire nonsense with the shenanigans in the MSNBC. But is it enough? And can we feel secure in that answer if we say, yeah, it is enough? Can we say for sure and go, yeah, and this is why? I don't know. And so with Trump, it's the same kind of populist type of energy that I've spoken about that we need to harness for Yang, the so high you never come down, that type of meme energy. Trump was one thing. He never had to cater to the left, though. He was able to spit all over the RNC. And this, okay, so I should probably explain exactly what's getting me onto this line of thinking right now. Yang came through and tweeted out this. He said, oh man, what did he say? I had it right here. He said, I hope at Mr. Andy Ngo is okay. Journalists should be safe to report on a protest without being targeted. So quick and easy summation. Andy Ngo is I hope I'm saying that right, a conservative, quote unquote, journalist. He works with Quillette, and I've heard of Quillette through Jordan Peterson. So if that gives you an idea, apparently I've seen these videos, these images of him, his bloodied face, terrible. It made me feel just absolutely sickened. I don't know anything about this guy whatsoever. I did a quick Wikipedia search on August these are some of the things. In June 2017, Ngo filmed a bomb disposal robot trampling flowers and candles in a memorial of victims of the 2017 Portland train attack, which had occurred 3 weeks earlier. The robot was going to a harmless canister that had resembled a bomb. A person was arrested for the incident. I have no idea why that's relevant in this article. On August the 29th, 2018, Ngo wrote an op-ed titled A Visit to Islamic England for the Wall Street Journal. In the article, Ngo concludes that Muslim communities constitute London's failed multiculturalism. He also falsely connected alcohol-free zones in parts of London to the majority Muslim populations. Ngo was accused of Islamophobia and issued correction to the article. He said he wrote the op-ed because in London in 2006 he had was confused and intimidated by the faceless figures of women wearing the niqab in London. Following the indeterminate alleged hate crime of assault on Jussie Smollett in January of 2019, Ngo published a series of tweets listing hate crime hoaxes and was praised by conservatives. A week later, Ngo interviewed Wilfred Riley, a Kentucky State Associate Professor of Political Science, who had written a book, Hate Crime Hoax, on the prominence of hate crime hoaxes among alleged hate crimes in the United States. So from what I can tell, and feel free to point anything out in the chat here, he's your run-of-the-mill conservative author, conservative journalist here. I mean, I don't see this person actively calling for types of hate crimes, and like I can understand people being upset at portrayals or characterizations that they may have qualms with, but this is the same type of issue that I see Sam Harris dealing with, where you can point out like perfectly, polls that have been done from subsets and some subcultures of people and bring up like, hey, cultural assimilation is a question, and we have to talk about the ways in which there may be issues of that involvement. But you're immediately just disregarded right out of the gate, and the left doesn't allow that to even be entertained whatsoever. And man, these pictures of this journalist just getting absolutely demolished. I saw a tweet from the Portland police Twitter account that said that they had put fast-acting cement mixture in the milkshakes that they were throwing at people, right? Which was like burning. It was basically like acid attacks, the chemical reactions happening. And so, yeah, but like what I said, I posted a tweet and then I deleted it because I just wasn't sure. I mean, I don't want to, I don't know. I didn't feel so good about it, but I'm comfortable saying it right here. What I see when I see these people attacking each other in Portland, these Proud Boys and these Antifa, are just poor people attacking poor people, And come on, listen, this was the thing that I thought that we established in 2016. The elitist playbook is to pit the lower socioeconomic rungs of society against each other. Okay, it's to while you're taking out of the wallet and the back pocket of someone, you're also pointing across the way and saying, you see that guy? He's trying to take your money as you're stealing from him, right? They win when we fight against each other. And I'm not defending any of the alt-right people out there, okay? But I am saying that we have to be able to we have to come together. We have to find someone who's going to unify people. And personally, that's what I saw with this tweet from Andrew Yang. He called out, this image that I have in my head of this person bloodied and beaten and laughed at, and saying this is not okay. This is not what America stands for. That is leadership, in my opinion. However, with that being said, the question is like, well, does this help or harm Yang? Because, right, we are here to get him into office. So, right, if you're dealing with a group of people who don't even have the patience whatsoever for this guy, who think it was a great thing that this guy got attacked, then is this a good thing? Should he have just kept his mouth silent? And yeah, what he said was great, and it's picking up a lot of people from the center, a lot of people who are able to think rationally about this and say, hey, fascists are not cool whatsoever, and Proud Boys suck ass, but I'm not okay with someone being attacked. I'm not okay with violence. I am a rationally thinking person who is willing to weigh pros and cons and put things into a logical, rational mind frame. Is that worthwhile? That's the question that we're having right now. Is catering to those people worthwhile? Because if all you're going to get from the DNC is attacks and, oh wow, Yang is a alt-right supporter and a white supremacist, then is it worth it? I mean, I don't know. This is so difficult. This is such a difficult thing for me because personally, I don't like, this is just me. This is coming from me. If I'm living in a world where we can't call out this person being violently assaulted and say this is wrong because we're scared of how we're going to poll, then that's just not a world that I want to participate in. I will take the black pill. I will put on the red nose and honk my way to a sad end. Because what does that mean that we've turned into at that point? We have to believe that we can unify people. This is the entire point of what I think Yang is standing for, is that, hey, we're all talking about the wrong things, right? The Night King is coming, and it's automation, and it's a problem that we have all been not dealing with for far too long, and we have to come together, and we have to stop throwing acid milkshakes at people. I'm sorry, fast-acting cement milkshakes at people. We have to stop beating them up in the streets because they are videotaping other people. You know, I don't know, man. It's very difficult for me. It sucks. It really does suck. We got to stay away from the black pill. That's what I'm saying. I think ultimately this tweet, I don't see another way that Yang's going to go down this path. Because if you're Donald Trump, which I'm sorry, but we have to be able to draw these comparisons, Yang is an economic populist. Donald Trump was an economic populist. Bernie Sanders was an economic populist. We are outside of the political sphere, heading into it. We're having to do things differently. Just playing by the rules ain't going to cut it. You know, Donald Trump would have taken this and run with it. I'm like, obviously, he has the advantage there because this is just a win-win situation. But in this case, like, Donald Trump never had to cover for the left. And if this is viewed as Andrew Yang covering for the right, well, then that's a dynamic that Donald Trump never had to deal with. And in this way, Yang's disadvantaged in the way that he's approaching the political sphere here. I mean, God, guys, we saw what happened to Bernie. We saw what happened to Bernie. He had a type of movement behind him that was unparalleled, and he still got screwed by the DNC. How is Yang going to usurp that without, like, the question I feel like we have to ask is, how did Donald Trump usurp that machine himself? And we have to, I don't want to say emulate, but we have to be able to recognize that you can't just go down the beaten path. But there are so many variables at play here that there's no easy answer. There is no easy answer whatsoever. God, guys, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. Ultimately, where I'm coming down to at the end of the day here is that this was a fine tweet. I think personally, if I was to use Andy's name in the tweet, I would have posted, boom, here's the photo of him bloodied up. Here's the video of his selfie that he took where he's explaining, hey, I got beaten up. You know, the paramedic, the medic comes to him and says, sorry, real quick, I just saw this out of the corner of my eye. Every now and then I see these. Does the GOP have super-delegates? No, they did not. And apparently some reform has happened within the DNC, and super-delegates may not be as big of an issue this year. I don't know. I'm calling some BS on that. But I don't know. That is a good question. The dynamics on the RNC side were completely different. It's possible that things may have changed here. I don't know. I'd be interested in that conversation. God, where was I? Oh, man. You guys get it. I've said my piece on that. Other than that, really quick, because wow, I mean, we've had a pretty big night here tonight talking about these things. I don't want to drag on for too long. Let's see. There was this video that Yang made, and it's like a 15-minute long video, so I'm going to just kind of cut to the short and simple of it. He was addressing his supporters. This was before the debates, kind of laying out exactly what the plans were. And I just wanted to bring this up to help kind of fortify the idea of what is going on, what we're fighting for. And he said, listen, our goal for the debates here is just to get our name out there, just to get people to Google who is that Asian man standing next to Joe Biden. And what I'm trying to say is, like, even if the mics worked 100% completely during the debates, a lot of people still might have walked out a little disappointed because the image of, wow, he's not fighting this would be there. They've recognized that they can't just run out of the gate doing this. It's not gonna help that. how we envision that it probably would, because we like to think, oh, this is what he should do in this moment completely. The number one goal right now is name recognition. But what that means is that really, it all falls upon you all. It all falls upon me. It all falls upon Scott Santon's politics. Geez, I'm so sorry. Another call out here. Problem solver politics. It falls on all of the YouTubers, personalities, Twitter users to push forward. And it sucks, but like, guys, we have the task ahead of us here to be the people who lead it forward in that way, to yang pill the rest of the world, because they're not going to give him the opportunity on stage to drop that yang pill. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of us didn't take too seriously when he said, it's a win if I get up there and people say, who's the Asian man next to Joe Biden? He was prepared while he was there to not say much. And I think part of his nonchalantness that we look at and we see was because he understood that. I do think, though, a little bit more would have been necessary. But with that being said, I don't know. I wish I was a fly on the wall of the campaign right now to see what they're thinking, what they're hearing. It appears right now that the polls are really the make it or break it point. And again, since they're not giving time to Yang to give his pitch, it falls upon us to do so. I'm gonna just look through the comments here. We'll probably wrap up the episode on that note. Right here, that's why I smash like all pro Yang vids, work the algorithm. Michael, you're doing the work. Thank you so much. Make sure you do smash like, hit the bell, and subscribe to this this channel. I love saying that. I never thought, really, honestly, I don't know. I never thought that I'd be someone that'd be saying that all the time. You guys, Hong Kong, it's a good example of how hard we as democratic people need to work to keep democracy. Yeah, look at what's going on in Hong Kong right now. And then, listen, I mean, Americans, we've got this image of just sitting around watching our TV and everything. That's what you have to do, right? Well, I loved it on Problem Solver Politics. They talked about like a tea tariff caused a revolution. Okay, a tea tariff. How much will it cause for change to happen now? It's a question to be had. It's a question to be had. The fact he's going to be at all the following debates will be good for attention. Like, how is this guy still here? I completely agree, which is why the most important thing that can happen is that we get him into the fall debates. That's it right now. And guys, I'm telling you, it might not be great. We might not have all of the energy and the momentum that we feel like we need to have at this time. But as if we can just make these goals, if we can get them into the debates and whittle down the other opponents, it'll do so much. I mean it. What if America adopts Hong Kong? That's a weird idea. It's not going to go well with China. I can guarantee that. The dynamics between America and China right now are very interesting. Very interesting that they asked the one Asian American on the national stage that night the question about China. I wonder what that is. I don't know. He's already in the September debates. Oh, really? Okay. Well, great. He didn't have to do the polling and the individual donations. Are there 2 debates in September as well? Am I missing something? I should know all this. I should know. I'm not sure. If the DNC Super-delegates picks Biden, then I might just vote green like in 2016. I really don't think that the Democrats understand how much fire they're playing with Biden, because they didn't understand what they were doing in 2016, and to expect them to have learned any lesson from then is probably unrealistic. They will lose. We can be dealing with another 4 years of Trump. We can, if they're not careful. Oh God. Okay, no, we're good. Bring it back. Yang's got to win a decisive majority in the first round of voting to avoid the super-delegate trap. At a certain point, yes, all of our attention has to turn into caucuses, into like the nitty-gritty of the politics that no one understands at all. These weird quagmires and arbitrary decision-making and policies and things that happen. Yeah. I mean, they have to have some very intelligent people behind the scenes working to get us past these obstacles that no one understands. Which I honestly, I did my best to comprehend it in 2016. It's completely out the window right now. Yeah, so much of the beginning is just how you do in New Hampshire, in Iowa, and God, the Zoomers, I said this once before, but the Zoomers very well might be the make it or break it demographic. Okay? If you're here and you're a Zoomer and you're going to be able to vote next year, please, humanity rests in your hands. Yang's got to win a... no, I just said that. Did you guys know that in Kuwait has a universal basic income where people receive $3,000 per month? Yeah, they've got so much oil there. And I do hear people bring that up and use that as an example of the ways in which like Kuwait is kind of subjugated in a way that they don't want to question the authority because, hey, like if you do, what if the UBI goes away? Kuwait's never been like a super renowned democracy though, so I think it's a fallacy to bring that up in the first place. I did not know that it was $3,000 per month, and it's for everyone. I need to do my own little research on that. I know that Iran's had their own, and I really thought that it was just Iran and Alaska that had like the purest, specifically Iran, that had the purest quote unquote form of UBI. But Kuwait, yeah, that is right. I do remember that. Super-delegates are such trash. Yes, they are. There's no doubt about that. Okay. Imagine if Anova decided to target an Asian man who actually knows martial arts. If only. I felt so bad. There was one individual in that video, this big guy, I think he was balding a little bit, who like came in and just knocked some people out of the way. That guy is a hero. Be that guy. If you're deciding to go out of your house to engage in civil protest, I feel like you because obviously you're going out, you're recognizing that there's going to be some potential for conflict. Don't be someone who's going out to destroy. Be someone who's there to protect, and be a hero like that guy. That was amazing. It made me feel things seeing him come into the defense right there. I'm very happy for that. It gave me some faith in humanity in that moment where otherwise I was just disgusted. I don't care what this guy has done. Okay, the answer is not violence. The answer is not to sit there and laugh at him. This tribal mentality of these just... Oh man, we're so close. We can move beyond so much of this conflict and tension, because a lot of this is just coming from everyone's at their wits' ends, man. It's this scarcity mindset, and we can move beyond it. We can get beyond it if we just... Boomers are afraid the freedom dividend will bankrupt the government and thus take away their SS and Medicare. Yeah. Well, I guess the boomers haven't really been good with economics whatsoever, considering the state of affairs that we find ourselves in right now. So, yeah, we got to do the best effort we can in saying, hey, Alaska's doing just fine. They're deep red, conservative. It takes a lot. To get through to boomers exactly what this is and to explain it in a way that's salient. It's probably the biggest challenge out of all, is saying, hey, this is a good idea and you should follow through with it. So yeah, we've got that issue. We've got the establishment Democrats overall, the minority votes that seem to make it or break it for the Democratic nomination, and then the boomers as well. We have an uphill battle here. Please recognize that. Buy into the hype and the passion, because we need that to carry us through, but also maintain your own mental health. Yang's got to amp that message to the boomer. I'm so sorry. I keep on reading the same thing twice. The polls are doing the same job today that Super-delegates did in 16, propping up the DNC's anointed one. And yeah, especially if they are just using landlines. Absolutely. I completely agree. We actually don't need too much to worry about because Yang already has the requirements for the next 3 debates. I seem to be completely missing all of this. This is stuff that I should know. Obviously, I'm going to be doing some more research after I get off for tonight, but what we need to do is keep spreading info about Yang. I completely agree, AJ. Like I've said, the energy is within us. We're the ones who are going to move this movement forward. Yeah, we are all from 4chan and the alt-right. Yep, absolutely. They caught us. They caught us. Yeah, like when Harris gets support online, they're legit, but when Yang gets support online, we're all trolls. Like, what? Yep, exactly. There's that bias, that dark age gargoyles. I don't know. They're gargoyles, and you can see them. You can see the corruption just bleeding through in all of these absolutely blatant examples. The good news is that the internet is way stronger than people realize. MSM thinks we're all trolls. That's what she was responding to earlier. Yeah, you know, listen, quantum Yang theory, this is just another example of that. We exist in an echo chamber, but the echo chamber also got Donald Trump elected. It's quantum theory through and through, okay? We're talking about, quantum entanglement. We're talking about chaos theory, a little bit of, we're talking about... Oh, what's the word? What's the word that I'm looking for? It's epochian, like kind of technology and tablets. And okay, no, listen, I'm going to work on that. And I'm going to come right back to it. The good news is that the field will be cold by September. Yeah, like Tim Ryan and hopefully Kristen Gillibrand and all of them will be gone by then. And we can hopefully get some more airtime. Airtime is the biggest thing. And of course, the ability to strategically field questions that the biased MSN is going to be asking. Voters are mainly old people. They only care about Social Security and Medicare. So isn't this year supposed to be when the millennials overtake the boomers in overall demographics? I thought that it was supposed to be. But they just keep on living. They keep living. They keep going on. And we'll never do it. We'll never do it. They're going to maintain control of politics forever. DNC is trying to take away our freedom dividend. I know. It's like when you get in between me and $1,000, we've got a problem. We've got a very real problem at that point. Answer every call, Yang Gang. Don't filter unknown callers. Yeah, when I was doing real estate, that was the biggest issue. Is like when you have your own small business, you have to be able to answer every single call, and there's nothing but robocalls. But that's a good point. Millennials never answer the phone, but we have to. We have to. To save the country, we must go out of our comfort zone, deal with the Gargolian robocalls, and the Gargolian Dark Age polls in general. All right, and just a quick look here down at the end as well. I don't ever want to hear Gillibrand again. Same here too. Same here. I want to hear Kirsten's Mandarin during the debate. Does she know Mandarin? I'm calling BS on that. I'm gullible. I will believe everything and anything. Bro, you are busy, LOL. I am so busy. You know it. Or you may have been talking to someone else. I'm not too sure. Would you rather have Yang's UBI or let Google, Amazon, etc. keep $1,000 in their fat bank accounts whilst paying no taxes? It's a no-brainer, surely. Well, no. Listen, they don't know how to use email, okay? They don't understand the idea that there are trillions of dollars being made in profit every time that they go out of the house, okay? Listen, for a generation of people who are so caught up in frugality, it's ironic in a way that the same generation that may have lived through the Great Depression, who have stored away and garnered all of these money-saving habits, are now being stolen from them, a valuable resource, generating trillions of dollars in profit, literal wealth that the world has never seen the likes of before in existence, and don't realize what's happening. It's irony. This is a Shakespearean tragedy. You couldn't come up with this, okay? It's so sad. It's so sad. Yang Gang needs to spam Trump Twitter. We need to get this beef going. And, back to the question of, what kind of support's good support? Obviously, we can appeal to the right. We can appeal to this exhausted majority. But can we appeal to the exhausted majority, the vocal, the the silent minority, or I'm sorry, whatever it's called. I'm losing it here. Will it work? Can it work on the left? Can it? I don't know. I want to say it will. I'm not sure. We went up from AstroTurf to trolls. It's a step up. Michael, that's a good point. Trolls are definitely better than AstroTurfing. So, hey, take what you can get, right? Take what you can get. We need Trump to give Yang a nickname on Twitter. Yeah, the group's already said, hey, they're going to be calling us Comrade Yang. But that's the thing, right? Is all Yang has to do is like, hey, I didn't know that giving people money because they're patriots was a bad thing. After all, you said it yourself that you're giving out $16 billion to farmers because we're not giving it to them because they earned it because they're patriots. You said that yourself, didn't you, Trump? Oh, God, come on, man. Listen. You get Yang and Trump together in a primary election. Oh my God. It's over. Listen, the hardest part is winning the DNC nomination. And how frustrating is that? It's so frustrating. Holy shit, I can't believe it. It's so... Oh no. Oh man. It would be so great though. It would be so great. He gets the nomination and it's over. It's over. It's just, it falls apart at that point. The entire country unifies behind Yang, and next thing you know, poverty is eliminated. We all get rid of the scarcity mindset. Children are asking their parents, what was it like before the freedom dividend? And we look at them and smirk. Looking at the hopeful exuberance, the endless possibility and hope in their eyes, we don't have the heart to tell them what kind of dark age quagmire we lived in, controlled by these gargoyles, and we just say, it wasn't too different. And then we turn our eyes up to the stars, seeing blinking, flashing lights from the space elevator that we've built up with nanotechnology, a geostationary orbiting, space elevator with nanomaterial structures that allow us to traverse from the equator, up to that area and then be able to launch off into space from zero gravity. We have hyperchambers, we have virtual reality, Neuralink is a common thing by this point. We've integrated AI within our brains and can do calculus, which I failed in college. That's why do you think I'm where I am right now, with no problems whatsoever. We've abolished all sorts of tribalism within the human race. We're together in a unified existence. Exploring the stars, space, the final frontier. Oh, man. We're so close. But no, MSNBC is going to destroy the human race. A shame. This is a shame. It's 2020. Couldn't they have all had an online live streaming debate where all the candidates can freely talk and not be suppressed by anyone or any media? Forget the stupid DNC. It's the rights of the people, right? I feel like Tulsi and Yang, just go and do your own live stream and say, listen, this is BS, okay? Hell, invite Marianne, okay? Invite her. She doesn't even have to show up. She can astrally project her consciousness into the live stream and screw it, okay? Just get beyond this nonsense that we keep seeing. Oh man, that would be a very interesting idea. I love this idea for the podcast that Yang and the sports are talking about. Ask all the questions that were asked during the debate to Yang, let him answer freely in his own manner, and then share that, okay? Okay, because listen, Joe Rogan gets 80 million listeners, watches, across the spectrum of social media, and the 15 million that watch the debates. Okay, yeah, they're important. They're the people we need to reach, but it's time that we move beyond these systems. It is time. All right, that's what the campaign should be looking at now. I think global cooperation is the end game. Absolutely. I absolutely believe it. I really do. And we have an opportunity with automation And that's why it frustrates me so much every time that I hear people say, oh, well, automation's not the issue. It's, this is actually causing life to be so much greater, and all the populism that we're seeing right now and the economic tension and the ways that society is crumbling apart at the seams and the just general clown world that we live in right now. What? Automation is not really that bad. If you look historically, it's always caused things to be actually greater than it's ever been before. So why are you even bringing this up? No, we have an opportunity here to say, listen, hey, this is an issue, and it's not actually people with different skin colors. Why don't we all unify and take this technology and utilize it and lift us up together, right? If you don't see the opportunity in that, then you're living too far in the past, man. You're a gargoyle. And the techno moth needs to just wrap its crystalline wings around you and ascend you into the higher consciousness of abundance that you seem to be missing out completely on. You know who you are out there, who probably never going to see this, but it's so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. Joe Rogan said the N-word at a stand-up in BAL on Saturday night. It was awkward. Oh, really? Uh-oh. He does that every now and then. And like, just to like be like, it's just a word. I see what he's doing with it, but I can definitely see a way in which it would be extremely awkward. I trust UBI with Trump like I trust nukes with North Korea. I say that about a federal jobs guarantee. This question between universal services or universal income. I think there's far more to be concerned about with universal services than universal income. Because, like, what's the worst that would happen with the universal income is that you're getting attacked, right? That the overall total, the numerical value of the UBI is being threatened. But with the universal services, those services can be corrupted, right? Hey, federal jobs guarantee under Bernie, it's great. It's great. You lose your job to automation. Hey, okay, well, maybe you don't get some unconditional cash from the productivity of the robot truck that's taking all the miles from you. But hey, you know what? Come to this federal office. We're going to give you $15 for every hour. You're going to get some benefits. We're going to hug you every day. Kumbaya. Let's just say it's like that. It's great under Bernie. Everyone loves it. Even people like me with invisible disabilities. Let's just say hell. They let me consider this a job. Let's just say, hell, I could play video games all I want, and they would consider it a job just like Ninja. Hey, perfect. Great. Everything's a job. And yeah, we're spending some insane amounts of money for people to stamp off. Yeah, Seth's a video game streamer, and that's cool. That's cool, man. I'm getting $15 just for checking this box right now. I love it. Right? That's like the greatest form of a federal jobs guarantee that you could imagine, I guess. And then, oh no, like Bernie gives out of a heart attack, and let's say that, I don't know, he doesn't make it. And somehow Ivanka Trump gets into office. And she takes that jobs guarantee and with like unilateral executive order says we're gonna constrict down the parameters of this. Seth can't be a streamer anymore. Seth can't make his videos. He's gonna have to go back out and prove his self-worth. You gotta be a productive member of society, man. And playing video games ain't it unless you're charismatic. And I don't care about how much autonomous productivity we have. I don't care that GDP has been skyrocketing outside of overall unemployment numbers and things of that nature. I don't like that you have the ability to make your own decisions. I don't like that you get to live of your own accord. I want you to do what I say. And I say we build a wall. I say we finish Papa Trump's grand vision. Get to work. Get to work or you're going to starve. That's what I see. That's the problem that I see with the federal jobs guarantee. That's the corruption. If we're down to the wire and it's a federal jobs guarantee or a universal basic income, then it's no question. It's no question to me what path is more important, is more freeing, is easier to defend from the ever-creeping march of corruption and destruction. It's weird. It's weird. Like these are such crazy ideas, but no, this is what we're up against. We're opening the door. We've got two doors in front of us, and we have to choose one. And exponential technology is leading us in that direction. And no candidate is talking about it. And the one candidate who did talk about it got his mic cut off. You don't get cash at all if you don't do or can't do what they say you can do. Exactly. I think this is the problem, right? With the communist entire thing, it was to each of their need, from each of their ability. The inherent problem with this is that someone's making that call. A human is making that call. And psychopaths find their way up, right? They float up to the top. They're going to find positions of power, especially the ones who can woo their way. They can flash a smile at you and they can shake your hand. And they spent their entire life studying the reactions of other people because they're basically just a mirror, right? They don't have empathy. They don't have an ability to connect on that type of level. Literally, some psychopaths are a mirror image of reactions that they've stored in their heads and cast back out to you. They're the ones who are going to be making these analyses. Bernie can come through and make the perfect socialist society, but who follows him is someone who has been casting back these reflections their entire life. They've made their way to the top through pseudo charm, and they have absolute no empathy or compassion for anyone else. And whatever goal that they want, they'll be able to twist and corrupt these systems in order to make happen. That's the problem. Okay, it's a utopia. It's utopias. The concept of utopia is that they don't actually exist. It's a perfect society. We'll never actually get there. And so universal services is trying to make that a utopia, to each of their ability from each. To each of their need from each of their ability. It'll never happen. It's always going to be corrupted. The individual has to be able to have the freedom to tell what their ability is. And forgive me for saying this, but if your ability is sitting around and playing video games all day, hey, more power to you. I don't give a damn. I really don't, because we have self-driving vehicles. We're going to have 3.5 million trucks autonomously moving product. And if you don't give a damn and you want to wither away on your couch all day, I don't care, okay? Because there are other people out there who do, who will work more, who want to have the bigger, shinier car. That's the benefit. Capitalism isn't an evil through and through thing. It has its upsides, and we do live in ways that our ancestors would salivate over. The meritocracy, in some ways, in the ways that we've set this up, it works because the individual is able to make that decision for themselves. We have to stay there. We can't give this up. We can't give it up. I don't want to give it up. I'm scared to give it up, man. I pull my hair out thinking about giving that up. And God, it's weird, man. That's a lot of pressure to put on Yang. That's a lot of pressure to have for this campaign. And like I said, guys, 10 minutes a day, think about something you're grateful for, because we have the biggest burden upon us for being so idealistic as a movement. But we also have the energy. We do have the energy. It exists within us, and we can do amazing things. But I can't stress this enough. The disappointment that you felt after Thursday, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again, but don't take the black pill, because it's so much more important that you're able to stand back up and keep going, because there's no other option. There's no other option here, okay? And even if Yang loses, you got to keep going. Oh, man. Okay, listen, if I'm going to keep on with this tone and everything, I think I should probably call it a night, because I don't want to get you guys bummed out. That's not the point of tonight's stream. Let me read some of these comments, and I swear we'll wrap up a little bit here, but I'm having a good night tonight. I hope you guys are too. It's only, 8:36. This is Eastern Coast, so we're probably just getting some people from way over yonder, the Great West, joining us. Hey there. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. I'm still putting it out there that I'll answer any questions. I really wish I had Super Chat up and going. That would be great. Yang's got the support of the crypto community for sure, and they are probably the smartest individuals. I hope that they're able to work out some of the tweaks needed for crypto in general. That's what makes me also very excited, is that I can guarantee you the smartest individuals in our country are behind Yang. So, hey guys, help us. We really need it. Dude, I need to fly over there and give you a hug, put on the black hat, prepare and exit for what happens when the worst happens. Yeah. There are, I don't know. Listen, maintain positivity no matter what. Don't take the black pill, please. Because at the end of the day, you can always think of something you're grateful for. You can always head outside. Some of Yang's supporters are obsessed. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, hell, look at me. I am literally kind of making this my life's work at this point. I mean, yeah, I want to extend out maybe into some video game streams and stuff just to shoot the shit and do other things. But yeah, people have everything riding on this. People are stuck. And they see UBI as the way forward. It is the way forward in all of the ways that I've described. And it does suck because there's so much to lose when you have that type of attachment to an idea, which is ultimately kind of beyond your control. I mean, right? Yang quantum theory here again. The Yang Gang's going to lead us there with the energy, but also there's nothing you can do to change it. So you exist in this quasi-important state that both is extremely important and both is not important. And so the entire point that I'm going to make here is that you have to be able to understand that it's not important in the moments that you will be disappointed, but also understand that it's extremely important every other time. And that's difficult. And you're only going to be able to do that with some discipline of the mind. And like we've all acknowledged on this stream before, mental discipline is something that is extremely lacking within our society. It's not set up to reward mental discipline. We're set up to be productive and go out and buy that new shiny thing. So yeah, we have the hardest hand dealt to us. Seth, start a Discord. All right, I'm thinking I will do that for sure. I'll find out ways of doing that here after this stream. I'm also, again, I need to do this clip, guys. Stay with me. I do suffer in some ways. I'm wanting to make some more post-edited videos, like I've said, but I'm such a perfectionist. I keep on going back over and over and over and redoing the streams, and I may not be able to get them out through and through. And the live streams force me to do things, but yeah. I can only imagine 2,000 people wearing pink hats shouting PowerPoint. That's the type of wave we need. It'll be here. Yes, Discord would be great. Okay, all right. Then I'm on it. I'm literally obsessed with Yang and K-pop. Alyssa, okay, so this is the thing that I wanted to say. Quick tangent here. I'm losing my voice. Wow, this is amazing. I've been going on for way too long. So I don't know. My girlfriend's definitely not watching at this point. So when I met my girlfriend, and we had been, seeing each other for a couple of weeks, and it was clear that we were going to go on for a while, I said, listen, I have to be upfront and honest with you right now. I love video games. Like, video games are my thing, and they have been since I was a kid. I learned to read by playing video games. It was Ocarina of Time. I played Ocarina of Time over and over, at first not understanding anything, just going through the dialogue boxes, but then like slowly over time, it was like I was picking it up, and yeah, I was in school too, learning the alphabet, but video games taught me how to read, and I had to let her know. I was like, if we're gonna be together, you have to be prepared for me to be unhealthily in love with video games and talk about video games and be nerdy about video games. And she looked at me and she said, that's okay. I have to tell you something too. I love K-pop. And I was like, okay, cool. I mean, yeah, I like screamo music. And she was like, no, I really like K-pop. And I was like, okay. And she was like, can I play you some? And I was like, sure. And she played me some Big Bang. And I was like, yeah, this is really good music. I liked it. It was fine. I mean, honestly, it, like, still to this day, there's some things that I picked out that I love, and I love playing to people. But the first time that I walked into her room, I understood what she was telling me, because there's pictures of like Korean boys everywhere, and I like, yeah, that was back then. Now we live together, and then there's none of those pictures or anything. But holy crap, the K-pop movement is, you guys are great people, but yeah, you want to talk obsessed? Oh my gosh, that's an entire conversation happening here. So Alyssa, listen, I understand. You say, dude, K-pop just consumed my heart and never let go for 5 years. Yeah, you know what? It's like the boy band movement in America in the 1990s, but with more attractive people and more modern music and catchy. And they're going to take over the world, okay? Listen. If you're here and you're kind of from the right and everything, and you know, there's a whole bunch of rhetoric happening about how white people are on the decline and stuff like that, and they're talking about this and that. Listen, okay, ultimately in 50 years, everyone's just going to be a mix of all races, and that's not some sort of crazy Q conspiracy. It's just globalization in general. But if you're worried about anything, you should be worried about the South Koreans. One, they're beautiful people. And two, every single woman in this country is madly in love with them. Okay? Listen, they will take over the world. I've seen the future, and it's South Korean. And they're great people. That was a kind of a strange way of making that joke here. It is pretty crazy. They listen, my favorite K-pop here, Alyssa, I'm gonna go out and put it, is Missing You with G-Dragon and some female artist. I love that song. I whistle it, and my cat comes running up to me because she knows it, because I whistled it so much. That's my favorite K-pop song. Okay, wow. So there's the tangent. I don't even know how I got off on there. A little bit more about me. We're getting personal up here in the stream tonight. K-pop for president. Yeah, listen, you laugh, but we're just a few years away from it, okay? We're just a few years. Yeah, the reaction to the Central P Cape concert blew my mind. I'm not familiar with that, but I did see the how BTS made waves at the Grammys or the Emmys or something like that. So yeah, the movement's here, guys. And hey, listen, this is a good way to segue. South Korea has their own universal basic income pilot happening right now. Strangely enough, it's only with 24-year-olds. It's like some very arbitrary number. It's only in one city, county, I don't know what you would call it. And it's very, very interesting. I highly recommend go and look up the Basic Income podcast with Owen Poindexter and Jim Pugh. They have a specific episode on this pilot happening in South Korea. And the research, the findings coming from it are significant. The research behind it said, she was like, I was driving down the road and I saw a billboard talking about universal basic income that someone like spent money on. And it's so weird. It's entering into the mainstream discussion in South Korea because they love it. It's having the same effects that I've talked about in episodes before this, in ways where people are being transformed into a abundance mindset. The scarcity mindset's going away. And even people who aren't 24, after they're done receiving the money, if they were in that weird space in between, they were like, I don't care that I don't get it. Even if I didn't get it, I want this to be a thing, because it has those rippling effects throughout society. It's so great. Please go look up that episode there. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna have to end it here in a little bit. I can't believe my voice is just completely, wow. Detroit, become Yang Gang. I would play that. I would play the hell out of that. My name is Seth. I'm the android sent by CyberLife. Okay, yeah, you know what? He does look like me. He does look like me. Okay, honestly, listen, for a while, I really wanted to be a video game mocap actor. And I still kind of do. Like, if I had a UBI, I'd probably try that out. I don't know. Okay. And let's see here. All right, I think that's just going to about do it here. I know that I missed some things tonight. I'm a little out of it. Like I said, it was a long week. I took my sabbatical, and things have been a little crazy. So sorry if I led you down the rabbit hole tonight, but I think we had a pretty good time through and through. To all of the new viewers on my stream, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Like I said, I do think that I'm going to spend some more time focusing on post-edited videos, because that got a lot more reach than anything else that I've done. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, and leave a comment on this video, or maybe at the clip that I'm going to make of the giveaway. I'm leaving two copies, one for someone who's brand new to the Yang Gang movement, who may be Yang curious. Leave a comment saying I'm new and I'm interested in his book. You cannot have already had an Audible account, or maybe just make a new one. Maybe that would be a way of getting around it, and I will try and DM you if you're randomly chosen. And also, if you're just someone who wants one to share or to read yourself, if you haven't, leave a copy as well. So those are two different there. You guys, thank you so much. Follow me on Twitter at Dividend Report. If I'm not going to be available during the night at 7 p.m., I will update there, as well as on my YouTube channel. So if you guys are wondering, hey, why isn't Seth streaming, you'll be able to find that information there. Man, anything else? I don't know. It's not important, isn't it? Go spend 10 minutes in the greenery. Think of something that you're appreciative of and keep the Yang momentum going, guys. We can change the world. We really can. I thank you so much for watching Securing the Bag with Seth Underwood. I'm going to catch you again another night. I'm signing off.